Hello and welcome to Creating with Purpose. My name is Aidan Brookstone and I'll be your host. Creating with Purpose is a series of thought-provoking ideas that are each mindfully crafted to help you, the creator, bring more meaning, intention, and purpose to your daily practice of creativity. My personal philosophy is that we are all creative beings. From the way we style our hair to the way we conduct our own personal demeanors, everything we do is an act of creation that is unique to our being. So whether you consider yourself an artist, a plain old human, or anything in between, it doesn't really matter. The information I'll be presenting in each of these episodes is practical enough that, if put to proper use, will help you open the doors to a life that is much more fulfilling, exciting, and simply put, has you creating with purpose. Each episode will cover a topic, and I'll finish with something for you to reflect on based on our speaking point. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, this episode isn't called Finding Purpose in Recovery. This episode is called Finding Purpose is Recovery. Now, this episode is going to touch on some difficult topics for some, but, I do have a past in addiction. I've struggled with addiction. It's hard for me to talk about, honestly, but I have used things like cannabis and video games as a mechanism for escape. They're easy escapes that provide a quick high, but of course, it eventually fades very soon after. So after about 8 years of steady smoking cannabis and the rest of my addictions, I realized that I needed help. So I went into a recovery program. And by that, I mean, I started going to meetings. I haven't really fully done the 12 steps, but I've seen them and I've worked with them in my own way. Maybe I should work with somebody one-on-one, but I find the way that I'm doing it right now is working. And where I'm at, I'm happy. That's where we're going to go. But what I found really interesting in the process of recovery is that a lot of it is about really forgiving ourselves. It's about figuring out how to reintegrate ourselves into the world, into society, how to let go of our shame, how to let go of our pain, and ultimately come out through the 12 steps feeling reborn, feeling rebirth, anew, feeling like we are reconnected to a sense of self, no longer hiding, no longer scared to be who we truly are in the world, and feeling safe and comfortable to be human. For me, recovery has been a very interesting process because recovery has forced me to uncover the hardest, most painful, darkest aspects of myself that I just haven't wanted to look at. Recovery has forced me to break free of addiction in every single way possible. Addiction has made its way into so many different facets of the world that I don't actually think we've come to recognize it anymore. Things like an addiction to success or an addiction to our phones and screens. Addiction comes through in so many different ways, and yet, of course, the way that most people frown upon it is through alcohol and drugs. And those are bad things, but addiction is addiction, and we need to just recognize that anytime we're escaping from whatever it is that we're feeling, it's not a good thing. So turning the head on addiction, what we're doing is reverting our attention towards what is purposeful and meaningful for us. We are applying ourselves to something greater than ourselves, so that way the addiction and the desire to escape becomes less powerful than the desire to create something bigger, to do something greater. Purpose has really offered me a path towards overcoming my addictions, one at a time. It's incredible what happens when you devote yourself to a recovery path. And recovery is such a funny word because I really do just think it encapsulates the entire process of returning back to our own state of being, back to a state where we're not traumatized or fractured and just becoming whole with ourselves again. And I feel like the word recovery in and of itself just doesn't do the process justice. There is so much power in finding something greater than ourselves, devoting ourselves to it, and finding purpose and meaning in applying ourselves towards something bigger than our little human selves. So my reflection for you in this episode is, where do you need to seek recovery in your own life? Where are you hiding? Where are you keeping yourself small? Where are you putting yourself into something that you shouldn't be doing and you're aware of it? Awareness comes with time as well, so it does take time, but what are you aware of at the moment that you need to start moving away from and growing from? And see what you can do about it. And if you're struggling to do it by yourself, my name's Aidan, this is Studio Raphael. Studio Raphael is an art house for creativity that serves to uplift humanity. My goal is to work with artists and creatives, people who have a vision to bring something to the world that is purposeful, intentional, meaningful, and help you create it and then bring it into Studio Raphael as a way to help support it. So if that's something that interests you, please shoot me a message. I'd love to be of service, but otherwise, I just hope that I'll see you around the studio sometime. Take care.